guys, welcome to another episode of Rodeo Exotics. We just got in a new rescue. He's a pretty large adult gray rat snake. His name's Bingo. That's what I named him. He was a surrender at Reptile Rapture in Monona, Wisconsin, and he's about 5 years old, they said. The previous owners had named him Rosie, believing it's a female, but I think that it's a male. I don't know for sure. I haven't probed or done an x-ray or anything like that, but I'm going to take him out and show you guys. Okay guys, you can see how long he is here. If I had to guess, I haven't put a tape to him, but I'd say he's about 4.5 feet long. Like I said, he's about 5 years old, so he's fully mature. Let's try to show off his face here to you guys. You can see he's missing some scales on his nose. That's where that red is. And if you look down to the end of his tail, it's sort of like a knob. So I don't know if that's a burn or maybe the shed got stuck when he was younger and that piece of tissue died off. But he's missing some scales all over his body. He seems to be in good health, though. He's eating really well. He's got plenty of weight. He's drinking. But maybe he was in some sort of neglectful situation when he was younger. So I'm glad that he was surrendered to Reptile Rapture and I could rescue him. He's super friendly. He's kind of a handful because he's so large, but there are bigger snakes out there. But if you guys get a rat snake or a corn snake or any of those like pretty classic colubrids, bull snakes, gopher snakes, what else is there? Pine snakes, they're all going to get pretty large. So just keep that in mind when you see a little baby corn snake at the pet store. And right now he's going to be eating about a medium rat. So fits his name pretty well because they are rat snakes. I have him in a 4x2x2 right now. I wouldn't mind upgrading the enclosure, but he does pretty well in it at the moment. It's super cold here in Illinois. It's been in the negatives the past few days. So just trying to keep temperatures up in the reptile room and in his room especially too. They like it anywhere in like room temperature, mid 70s on the cool side, up to like 85 on the warm side. So they're not a very hot snake. You don't have to worry about humidity as much as you do with like your python species because they're not tropical. They're native to here in North America. Now, if you live in a different part of North America that's really, really wet or really dry or really cold or really hot, you're going to have to supplement stuff, whether it be heat, humidity. I still spray his enclosure. I still give him water because humidity is important for shed cycles, but they don't like it super wet. But they're a pretty easy animal to care for as long as you have enough space for them and you can meet their basic requirements. It's a piece of cake. So you can see the iridescence on his head and it goes across his whole body. He's going to be shedding here soon, so he should be a little bit shinier. But if you look at the belly scales, see if I can catch the light on it, you can see that there, how iridescent he is. He's really a beautiful snake, and it's not good that his scales are missing on his nose, but it adds like this pop of red, and it's really pretty. But I love colubrids like this, guys. This is the closest thing to having like an indigo snake that you can get without actually having an indigo snake, in my opinion, just because they get so large and they have a really similar body type. Now, this is a gray rat snake. When they're juveniles, it's not going to look like this. They're going to have a different pattern when they're younger. They're going to look a lot like a corn snake does. Spots on the head and like a checker kind of pattern, depending on what snake you have along their body. And as they get older, they darken up and the pattern starts to fade. And right now, he just has like these kind of gray bands on a black body. There's like some whitish spots and some red mottling showing through on his skin. And he's just tucking his face down there. But this guy is super inquisitive and super, super friendly. Even written on his tank when we rescued him, they made sure to emphasize how friendly he was. And they were not wrong. So not everyone's rat snake will be as friendly as this, especially when they're younger. Rat snakes are known for being a little bit bitey. But the care is generally the same for your western black rats, your gray rat snakes, Great Plains rat snakes there's Texas rat snakes. All the true North American rat snakes are pretty similar care. And it's cool that these guys live all up along the East Coast, up into the Midwest, and all the way into Canada. So they are, in the wild, they're used to cool temperatures. I'm not going to just let him be in the negative temperatures and keep him outside all year, though. That would not be good, because I can provide heat for him. But in the wild, they have ways of fending off the cold, burrowing, brumation, that sort of thing. These guys are semi-arboreal. In the wild, they love to eat birds out of the trees. They're great climbers. And if you have climbing structures in their enclosure, they will use them. That being said, horizontal space is really important too. Right now I have him on a mixture of Reptisoil and cypress mulch. We've got a water dish in there that he just went poop in, so that was nice. Some cork bark, some hides, and right now I have a 75 watt Arcadia flood lamp in there for him. So yeah, it's a really easy snake to care for. They're great eaters. Their feeding response is awesome. It's not like a ball python. Whenever I try to feed my ball python, it's a toss-up if he'll take it or not, and even still, you have to make sure it's the right temperature and it's not wet, or it doesn't touch him first, or he doesn't miss, because then it's all your fault. He won't eat, but this guy will just take anything. You can feed them quail eggs, quail chicks, chicken chicks, mice, rats. So they're good eaters. I just want to pick him up and kind of show you. When he's coiled up like this, he doesn't look that big, but he is about 4.5 feet long, at least. And he's a thick dude, too. I've had him for a few days now. He had a meal in him when I got him, so I haven't fed him yet personally, but I've been told that he's a really good eater, and I believe it because he was full. He has, even still, but he had a super thick rat in there that he took. And when you walk in the room, he loves to come up to the glass, but he's not so aggressive that when you open the door that he'll strike because he thinks there's food. He still can tell the difference between a person's hand and food, which is awesome. But I just want to show off how bright white their chin is and their throat. And then it kind of turns into a darker gray and cream mottled color with all that iridescence. You can see his throat is just bright white. So there's a lot of different color variations that you can get. Unfortunately, when you're getting a juvenile gray rat snake or any of the rat snakes, you're not going to really be able to tell what their pattern is going to be exactly when they're an adult, unless, of course, you have, like, the morphs and stuff. You're going to be able to tell that, but their actual pattern is all going to be different. So these guys are sexually dimorphic, so females get larger than males. The way I have just sort of guessed if this is a male is I look at his urethra, which is all the way down here, and from this point on, he has a very tapered, long tail, which is usually signifies that it's a male, and he's got a pretty big head on him, but even still, he could be a female. I'm not going to take the word from his previous owner, because I am just going to guess that they might not know exactly what they're doing because of all of the damage and the fact that he was surrendered in the first place, but he could be wild caught. There could be all sorts of things that happened to cause this. He might have been in a fine home and they just decided to surrender him, so I don't want to bad talk them at all, but I really have no idea about his history. I just know that he's a really good snake. Very, very friendly, very good eater, and an awesome size. And I'm glad that I can give him a second chance at my facility. So that's about all I have to say. I don't suggest that you just handle them with one hand all the time. I'm just kind of trying to show you his body because he's not sprawling out. He's all coiled up. Let's see if we can get him to unwrap once. Though you don't want to just tug on these guys. Yeah, guys, that is the North American gray rat snake. one of my favorite colubrid species and snake species in general. And I'm just ecstatic to have this guy here. So I'll continue to update you on him and my Nile monitor, my ball python. I've got a leopard gecko and some frog species and some turtle species, and I'm always expanding, so just stay updated. I'd appreciate if you guys like and subscribe, and I'd love to do like a feeding video. If you guys want to comment below any suggestions, I'm more than open to taking them for video ideas. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching.